Hey guys, so I am back to do a review on Hustle in Houston. Hustle. God, I forgot the name and I ain't write it down, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this review. We keep it real, expressing how we feel. Whoa. So come on in and sip some tea. Join the Kourtney family. We're about relationships and review, making it fun and just for you. Go and God, let God go with you. It's time for Kourtney and Eddie.
I always put God first.
Hey you guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Kourtney. My husband Eddie is not here. He don't do this video chat because he said got too many women, honey. He ain't even watched one episode to see if it got a lot of women. But nevertheless, honey, we're gonna get into this review and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna discuss it. So let's just go and get straight into it. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like, make sure you comment down below. So it starts off with Chloe on the phone talking to Ro, and she was telling her about, Latoria. Said that it ain't no good men. No, it's saying that Josh, she couldn't pull a Josh. She couldn't pull a man of a caliber like Josh. And Rose was like, you know what? If she told you that, I think Latoya told Chloe that you need to talk to Alaina, because really and truly, honey, you don't need to keep that to yourself. That's gonna cause too much friction and too much back and forth with y'all. Because why would she say something like that? You know, and I agree. You need to talk to her, honey, and say, "Girl, I heard what you said about, I can't pull somebody good like Josh or a caliber man like Josh." Now let's talk about LeBrina, Jack. The girl, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. We the people want to see stuff like this. The escape spa, baby. That make me want to go down there, honey, drive the Texas, drive, fly, whatever, to go to the escape spa, honey, and get me a nice little spa. Come on, black on, girl. This is what I'm talking about. This is what the people like. This is what we want to see. Hey, throw us the little drama, but we want to see like excellence and empires and entrepreneurship. We want to see the people doing their thing. So LeBrina invited the girls to her spa, and she let us the people see around, honey. See around. So and it looks gorgeous. She was talking about all the treatments you can get and the things that they offer there. So she said she invited everybody but Chloe and Alaina because she didn't want no drama. She didn't want that Josh situation, all that stuff to mess up where they are. So Latoria was talking to Muneera. I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And she told, "Oh, you look cutesy." And she was like, "Cute? That's for little girls." She said, "Well, you do look like you about 11." She was like, "Oh, no, no, no." I don't know if she said 9 and then she umped it to 11. And she was like, "No, no, no, I don't look like that." And so she said, "Well, okay, 11 plus 11, 21, honey, because you look good, you look young." And so Muneera don't like that. And I get it. I get it. Let me tell you something. I am a jokester. If you short and you come around me, a comment will be made. I know. I know. I'm sorry for all the short people. I'm so sorry. But if you can make a comment on my height on a tree, you know what I'm saying, tall, pole, whatever you want to call me, that's fine. But it's just, I don't know, short people just so cute to me because it's so little. That's so little. But she don't like that. It's a trick for her. So, she don't like to comment that, she look young and that she is young and that she like a little kid and she short and all that stuff, whatever. So anyway, LeBrina asked Latoria, like, who was that man you was with at the rodeo? That man that walked up to you, who is it, girl? She was like, "Oh, girl, he I don't know if he a news anchor or something like that, but he does news, and I've been knowing him for a while. But why y'all ain't talking and stuff?" She was like, "No, girl, I'm just he invested in the stuff that he in, and I'm just kind of focused on my stuff." So she was like, "Girl, you got his number, give him a call." So she called him, and I thought it was smooth the way she did it. You know what I'm saying? She was, well, excuse me. She said, "Well, girl, I'm just She didn't say girl. She said, well, I'm calling you, I wanted to ask you how was the rodeo, what you thought about it and stuff like that. And so he's like, I thought it was nice and stuff. So she said, oh, okay. So, I'm just sitting here with my a friend of mine. She just, told me to give you a call. And I'm trying to think how she did it because I don't watch another show. So I was hoping I remember it. So she said, well, so she said, well, I know you've been working hard or something like that or whatever. So, I thought that, we can sit down and have drinks. And so he was like, okay, cool. So she was just like, when is a good time for you? So this weekend, he was like, no, I'm going out of town this weekend. And then said, and then the next weekend is my birthday. Then the weekend after that. And I think somebody brought it up. I think that was Chloe that brought it up. And I'm fast forwarding so I won't forget. But Chloe was like, well, dang, do you want to go out with you? I'm not going to even lie. That is a key thing. He did sound excited when, she asked him out. But that is a key thing because let me tell you something. If a man want to talk to you, be with you, want to go out with you, see how I vibe and all that stuff, whatever, he will clear his calendar. Now, I'm not saying to rearrange him going out of town, but he said, well, what about a Thursday? What about Friday? What about Wednesday? You know what I'm saying? 7 o'clock. How that work for you? Da, 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 da. It would have been during the week. And the reason I say that is because Eddie did me like that. I was the same. When he asked me out, I was like, well, this weekend I got this coming up, this weekend, da 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 da. And he was like, well, you'll make time for what you want. And because I did want to go out with him, we made time during the week. And I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. But anyway, so they doing a charcuterie board while they are there at the spa. And Muneera was just saying that, she doesn't drink. And Tori was like, oh, well, girl, I'm sure they got some apple juice or something around here for you. And that rubbed Muneera the wrong way once again, honey, because she feel like that's ageism, honey. You is being funny because you saying that I am young and I need to drink apple juice and I'm not old enough to drink. So LeBrina was bringing up the fact too that the girls, she's having some at her house, her ranch, her 1,000 acres mansion, like out there, honey. When you can have a whole, you can just build stuff, honey. So many acres and acres and acres. But she wanted to invite the girls there and the husbands as well. And Ro brought up the fact that she, Chloe told her what Latoria said, that Alaina said about Josh, and she was like, Toria was trying to be messy. She said, first of all, no, I wasn't trying to be messy. I was just bringing up the fact of what she said and letting Chloe know what she said about her so they can sit down and have a conversation. I did like the way Tori said, no, I wasn't being messy. But me, I wouldn't have brought it up. I know they got a show to do, honey. They feel pressure by production and say, hey, bring this to bring that. But I wouldn't have brought it up. If Alaina said that in confidence, because it was, but I know the camera's right there, that she couldn't pull a caliber a man like mine, then, I would have let it ride. I wouldn't have went back and said, girl, she said, now, I would have felt that was missing. But anyway, Toria brings up the fact too that she feels that Ro was talking about, she don't feel like she can be herself around Latoria. She was like, why? Why you even give that off? But she said, because when we started talking about sex, she was like, oh, girl, I'm a woman of God. I don't do all of that stuff. And so she was like, I'm not, I wasn't judging you or shaming you. She said, and Rose said, that's just how I felt. I felt like you was judging me or saying that, you're better than me because I want to talk about sex. She said, no, my sex life just off limits, like first of all, I ain't got one. I ain't had sex in 3 years. And then plus I'm not going to be sitting up here saying when I do and when I don't. And I'm like her, like I was the same way. I was celibate for like 3 years. If it wasn't 3, it was almost 3. So once I got divorced, then I didn't sleep with nobody until my husband. And so, until Eddie, because when we slept together, no, we was not married at that time, but our relationship was so strong till I knew that we would be married. And so, because I dated many guys and I didn't sleep with them, honey. They wanted it, but I didn't. And so, but yeah, so the fact too is that, she said, so Ro in her mind, she can't phantom. Girl, you ain't had a toy, you ain't had nothing, honey. You just been you. She was like, yeah, just me. And that to me is, like she had self-control. I'm quite sure it's been times where she could have slept with somebody, but she chose not to. So Chloe having a dog birthday party, her dog, I forgot his name. And so she invited Latoria over. And Latoria was telling her about the spa day. She was like, yeah, girl, that was kind of shaded. I wasn't invited to the spa, nothing like that. Like LeBrina owed me a spa day, honey, because I feel like that was like she didn't have to do me like that. I don't think she had to do the girls like that. Like, I don't know what they could have did, what they would have tore up her stuff or something. I don't think it was that deep or that serious. Toya also was telling her about, the guy that, LeBrina told her to call and stuff like that or whatever. And like I just said, dude, she was like, oh, he said what, 2-3 weeks, honey? Like, So anyway, let's see. So she also brought up the fact too of what Ro was saying about her and sex and how, she was saying she's a woman of God. She's like, girl, I don't mind like, oh, another person being themselves. Of course, be yourself. I want you to be yourself. But for me, that's just not how I roll. Like, she was like, girl, I'm a Southern Belle, honey. Like, we don't kiss and tell. We're not finna be like, and I'm like that too. Like, I've never, ever discussed my sex life, whether I had it or didn't, with no other woman or no other man. Like that's between me and whoever I'm intimate with. But some people are more freer in that area than others. I could see Rose saying, girl, last night, honey, it was so good. Or girl, honey, it sucked. Like, I could see her doing it, but for some people, they just not kissing and telling. Like, for what? Like, what I'm gonna tell you? If it's good or bad. If it's good, then I'm sitting up there like, girl, then you may try to want to get a taste. If I'm telling you it's bad, then you still may want to try to get a taste. You know what I'm saying? Well, honey, it's probably you, child. Let me try. So I just think that, that's just too much. So, oh yeah, and then another thing too, Tori was like, I just don't believe in, like people always want to kind of make me the bully in situations. She dealt with that growing up because she was dark skinned, she was bigger or heavier than the kids around her and stuff, and so they looked at her as being a bully. So when she said stuff, she just spoke the truth, but she wasn't bullying people. So that a lot of people have a lot of trauma. A lot of people have a lot of trauma, and I know for one that Muneera, she has trauma. She has trauma. I'm glad she said it because I feel like that was a trigger for her. That was a trigger for her, and I can just see people going around saying that. She looks good, but she tired of hearing everybody say that she looks like a kid. So Ro and Muneera end up oh yeah, they was talking to Ro was and Muneera was having a conversation, and they was talking about the apple juice comment and stuff, and she was like, girl, I'm sick of her. I'm sick of her saying that. She done made that comment. I was like, girl, I just seen it twice, honey. I mean, the other time she said it. Like, you should have told her your trigger in that moment, and instead of going around, really and truly just trying to like book up. So she was like, Rose said that she done had stereotypes as well. People, she said she grew up, she was tall, she had a big butt, and people always would say stuff like that. I say for me, like I said, people, I was tall, and and people like, you play basketball, or do you want to play basketball? I know you play basketball. La la la. I was like, no, like, I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of hearing that. When I've always been slender, always been slender. If you see me, this is the heaviest I have been in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been slender. And people always, girl, by the time you get 20, honey, you gonna blow up. By the time you get 30, you gonna blow up. By the time you get 40, you gonna like that was always, oh my gosh, you so skinny. Oh my gosh, you need to eat. Oh, go put a plate in front of you. But if I say you too big, you need to pull a plate from you, then I hurt your feelings, right? Okay. Like, so I used to get tired of people saying, oh girl, do you eat? Oh, honey, eat some, eat some, eat some. Maybe you need to stop. Maybe you need to stop. So everybody has these stereotypes or these things that people have tried to pin on them, or they just kind of got tired of hearing as they got older because it just becomes redundant. And that's the thing. So Muneera was just talking about her trigger, being in the workforce, and being a leader, being a manager, being a boss, or whatever. People want to come at her because she's smaller, she looks younger, and they not taking her serious. So they not even respecting her authority in the situation. So it is a trigger for her. So it is some issues, and I think that she should tell Latoya that instead of coming off like, because I don't think that all the girls knew each other. All the girls are friends. I think that it was a few friends here, a few friends there, and then they kind of came together as a collective. So Ro is going to therapy. Now I said this. I said if it wasn't for this show, a lot of people would not be going to do some of the stuff that they're doing because they have to do it for, to keep the show going for entertainment purposes and all that stuff, whatever. Because Ro probably never would have went to therapy, honey, if she went on TV. I'm just saying. But so she's going to see Alaina's therapist, and they sit down and talking. Uh, the therapist was asking her as far as her feelings. She feels as though that she has sacrificed herself over other people, i.e. me. She has put other people first and not herself, i.e. me. I ain't doing that no more. I stopped doing that recently, like within the last year or 6, 7, 8, 10 months. I'm not doing it no more. I'm not. So I've had to push my way and weather through that. I didn't know that's what I was doing, but I was, and no more. So the therapist was asking her why she did that. And she was just saying, as far as, she kind of kept everything separate, her work separate, her parenting separate, everything separate. But the therapist, like, they all go together. So she actually, when she came home from work, she was exhausted. Her child was like, mama, mama, mama. And she was like, girl, just get out of my face, honey. Let me breathe. And she had to go back and apologize to her and stuff. And so the therapist, like, well, that was big for you to apologize because now the child knows that that's not a behavior that she needs to take on. And if she does do that, she needs to apologize. So that was big of her, and that was, a good moment for her. But she also brought up, the ladies. Latoya feels as though that, she is like this woman of God and kind of put her in a place of judgment. And she don't like feeling like that. She want to always be her authentic self when she's around people, but she feels like she has to shrink, or she has to watch her words and watch what she say because she's around her. I mean, honestly, just like a person, yes, you want to be yourself. You want to always be your authentic self. But even in your authenticity, everybody don't need to see every part of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you was a person that curse a lot, but you hanging around people that don't cuss, then you got to kind of retain that and refrain from cursing, so much, because you wouldn't do that in the workplace. Like, you wouldn't sit there and talk about sex and all that stuff in the workplace. Like, it's okay to be yourself, but that's not what Latoya is saying. She's like, girl, be yourself. Just don't bring that stuff over here with me. Like, if you want to talk about sex all day, I'm good with that. But don't sit up here and ask me these questions. Don't sit up here and bombard me. Don't sit up here and, interrogate me, because that's not how I roll. So as the therapist was just saying, um, her being, her authentic self, sometimes you being your authentic self can bring out the what is it? The inauthentic in other people, which I don't think that's what she was doing, or I don't think that that's what Latoya, what I'm saying? Like, she's not her authentic self. Maybe she ain't. Maybe she ain't. This is TV, so maybe she's not 100% herself. So anyway, the therapist said, listen, this is what I want to do. I want to challenge you to find yourself in each one of these ladies. Whether it's this, that, and this, find yourself in that, deal with that, deal with them in that area of their authenticity, and just kind of, pull from that and connect in that way. So LeBrina inviting the ladies to her acres and acres and acres, 8 acres and acres and acres of place. So they doing a crawfish boil. And I know everybody don't eat crawfish. I eat crawfish. Now, crawfish is not my go-to now. If you got crawfish, shrimp, lobster, other stuff, I eat that before I eat crawfish. Crawfish not bad. It's just messy. And once you crack the little bite open, child, you got about that much meat. That much meat. Can you see about that much meat? So it's a lot of mess for the little piece of meat you get. Give me a lobster tail or something like that, or crab legs. But them crawfish, mm-mm, mm-mm. And no, I don't suck the head. All the seasoning in the head, I was like, mm-mm. First time I did that was like at a crawfish broil or whatever. I had to ask people, how does this work? What you do? And I was grown. I mean, how you eat this? And they showed us how to eat it. I was like, okay, I can get down with this, but it's messy. Like it's good and messy. But anyway, so she invited them there, and so the women come, their husbands come, the ones that are married. Ro and Latoria, they was talking about they single and stuff like that. But Rose said, "Hold up, honey, I ain't gotta be single. I know some of y'all husbands here got friends. Y'all ain't got no single friends and stuff like that." Rose was like, "Okay, girl, let me, you know what I'm saying, see what I can get up out of here, honey. Just because they married don't mean I ain't gotta have nobody. So call your single friends." So as they're there, and I guess they've been there for a while. They got their feet in the pool, they chilling and they talking. Um, Chloe pulls up and she pull up with her man, honey. His name is Jordan. So she pull up with her man Jordan, and I said it before they said it. I said, "Oh yeah, she finna say, honey, this what kind of caliber of man I can pull, honey. Can you do this?" So everybody peeped. It's like, "Oh girl, you just bringing that man here, honey, because you trying to prove a point, honey. This is who I'm with, honey. This is who I'm with." So the girls peeped and they said, "Okay, clock it." They said, "Touche, touche, we see." But they said that they look good. He's a nice looking man and stuff. So Latoria said she was asking Alaina, you know, well, Chloe does event planning. Alaina, could you see yourself, you and Josh, renewing your vows? I guess she was asking both of them. And he was like, yeah, but, it would be more of a milestone. Now, I thought they said they'd been married 15 years. Maybe they been together 15 years, but married so many years. I forget. So, but he was like more of a milestone. And so they was like, dang, I think he said 20, about in 20 years. And so Alaina was like, she prefers sooner. So in her confessional, honey, she was getting emotional because she was like, why milestone, honey? We done been through a lot. Why you gotta wait to 20 years, honey? So as they were sitting there eating, because they sat there eating crawfish, Alaina brought it up again. And Chloe was saying, yeah, why 20 years? Because you never know what can happen within that time frame. Her, i.e. her, she lost her husband. I'm quite sure she thought they'd be together 20, 30, 40, 50 years, but he's no longer here. So why wait that long? And then it got on to I forgot what he said about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wait that long? Because I think her mind, I think Alaina did say, why not 15 years? So like I said, I can't even remember how long they've been married because I thought it was a 15. I know it's been a while. It's been a while for them. So maybe they've been together 15 years, on a married, like, I don't know, 7, 10, something like that or whatever. But it kind of changed. They kind of got off the subject of that and talking about the fact too of, Chloe, could you see yourself, being with Jordan, like marrying? And she was like, well, yeah, I want to get married again. Like, that's good. I would say that man, honey, just came for some crawfish, child. Now he finna get engaged and get married. And he looking like, he was looking like Scooby Doo when they turned. He was looking like, now how in the world? So as they were sitting there talking, Alaina was just saying that, yeah, she don't see herself dating young. I was like, girl, you got a whole husband right there. I don't even know why you're in the equation. So she was like, yeah, I don't see myself dating younger and stuff like that. Like, yeah, he young and he look young. Like, how old you is? He was like 28. So she was like, yeah, I was going to say 25. Like, he looked like the random dudes that be in high school. In high school, they look like that. I was like, Alaina, you reaching. They do. But your husband can too, honey. If he was just to calm that beard down, I'm quite sure they look like your husband too. You know what I'm saying? So I think Alaina is just trying to make a point to Chloe, like, you with a younger man, da 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 da. And Chloe said, I ain't used to dating no younger man. I said this last time. She said, I'm not used to dating no younger man. I was used to dating older men, men, I guess, that can take care of me, provide for me and all that stuff. I'm not used to this. And so I said, I think that Chloe want to date a younger man because she ain't got time for another man getting a heart attack, and even though they can at a young age, getting a heart attack and passing away and leaving her. That's the way I looked at it. So as they sit there and talk about that, conversation that to me wasn't needed, wasn't going nowhere. LeBrina pulls Jordan to the side and said, listen, this my friend. This my friend. And I just want to know kind of like, what's your intent? Can you see yourself marrying Chloe? Can you see yourself being with her? He was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I've met her children, she's met mine. So we just kind of, it's a little deeper than what y'all see. So yeah, absolutely. So Chloe like, girl, what's going on? What you doing? What you in there? What my man at? What my man? And so she was like, well, I'm just kind of talking to him and seeing, how much of a good fit he is. So she was like, oh girl, do what you do. Go ahead, friend, interview him, honey, interrogate him, do what you do. I like Chloe. I like all the girls. Now, a lot of people do like this show. I seen it on the blogs, and the people's like, oh yeah, I like it, I like it, I like it. And Alaina is evidently a famous makeup artist that a lot of people know of, because they was like, that's Alaina, that's whatever her name of her company is and stuff. So good for her, good for all of them, and everything. So as they were sitting there, it was Muneera, and it was Latoria, and they were sitting there talking and stuff. And so Rose said she got some homework to do. She went to therapy, and the lady told her to pretty much, excuse me, find herself in all of the other ladies and kind of connect with that. And they was like, well, that's good. And Muneera said, well, speaking of, you know what I'm saying? I got a problem, I felt very uncomfortable with Latoria when she was up there saying that, apple juice, that I can drink apple juice. I look so young and all that stuff, whatever. And she said, you kept saying, Latoria said, I only said it twice. I'm like, well, her girl, I only said it twice. And she repeated what she said. And she said, I just didn't like it. Like that right there was just uncool. And, I'm near how this smoke, yada, 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 yada. She's like, okay, girl, you ain't got to worry about it. Don't worry about it. We ain't even got to have a conversation on this. So Ro had pulled Latoria to the side, and she was like, well, it could be a trigger for her. Because Muneera did tell Ro that, it is a trigger for her. But I'm saying, why didn't Muneera say it herself? Girl, I really don't like the fact too that, what you said, but I understand you didn't know me like that or stuff like that. But I just want to say that was a trigger for me. Just like Latoria, somebody could have said for Latoria, it was a trigger for her, being, like the dark skin out the group, or, being called, being feeling like she's a bully and she's all this stuff, whatever, like childhood issues, you know what I'm saying? And that's basically what it is. Maybe Muneera's wasn't childhood issues, but it is a trigger for her how she was treated in the workspace. And I think that she should have told her that. I think she should have told her that. But anyway, so I hope that they don't fall out because of that. Like, but Muneera need to get a girl some grace. Because, child, honey, that could have been me, child. Because I said that, ooh, girl, yeah, you need some apple juice, honey, because you was like, you too, honey. You was walking around here, honey, you need a diaper. So I probably would have said stuff like that. But me, I try to engage people because everybody can't take my jokes. I'm not finna joke on you if I don't know you. I'm going to gauge. First, I'm going to gauge and see how your energy is, how you can vibe. Is you the one that like the jokes? Is you? Because some people just straight up sensitive, honey. They can dish it, but they can't take it. Me, if I dish it, dang it, I better be able to take it. If I get in my feelings, it ain't your fault. Unless you just go disrespectful, okay? But I try to keep it light and fun, you know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, that's all I got, you guys. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Drop down in the comments. Like I said, it's good so far, and I'm here for it. But I will see you guys on the next episode. Don't forget to go with God and let God go with you, and always put God first. Deuces. Hey!